She left. Now she's back, standing at your door or blowing up your phone like nothing happened. And in that moment, everything inside you wants to make a decision right now. Part of you feels relief washing over you like a wave, thank God. I don't have to lose her. Another part of you wants to slam the door in her face, let her feel what you felt. But here's what most men don't realize. Both of those reactions mean you've already lost. Because relief makes you weak, and ego makes you petty. Neither one gets you what you actually want. This isn't about playing games or punishing her or pretending you don't care when you do. This is about something the Stoics understood thousands of years ago. When someone walks back into your life after walking out, it's not a second chance. It's a test, and the way you handle it will determine everything that comes next. Epictetus said it plainly. It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. She left. That was her choice. She's back. That's her choice too. But your reaction, that's the only thing you actually control. And most men give away that control in the first 5 minutes. They either take her back immediately because they're scared of being alone, or they reject her out of wounded pride because they want her to hurt, like they hurt. Both responses are about her. Both are reactions. And reactions are weak. What you need is a response, a deliberate, thought-out decision that comes from strength, not emotion. Let's start with the thing nobody wants to talk about. Why did she actually come back? Because I guarantee you the reason she's giving you isn't the real one. She'll say she missed you. She'll say she made a mistake. She'll say she realized what she had. And maybe some of that is true. But Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal, ask yourself what this thing is in its nature. What does it do? Why does it exist? Apply that here. The real reasons women come back are usually simpler and harder to hear. The grass wasn't greener. She tried something else, someone else, and it didn't work out. Or loneliness hit and she couldn't handle being alone with herself. Or her ego needed validation. She wanted to know she could still have you. Or maybe you're just convenient, the safe option she can return to when everything else falls apart. Here's the Stoic test you need to apply. Did she actively work on herself while she was gone? Is she taking full responsibility for what happened? Or is she making excuses and blaming circumstances? Has she shown consistent effort? Or did she just wake up one day feeling lonely? Epictetus taught that circumstances don't make the man. They reveal him. Her return isn't really about you. It's a mirror showing you exactly who she is. And if you're paying attention, you'll see the truth in her actions long before you hear it in her words. Now here's where most men destroy themselves. They make their biggest mistake in the first 5 minutes after she comes back. The emotions hit, that rush of excitement, that chemical cocktail in your brain telling you everything's going to be okay now. But that's not rational thought. That's biology. And biology doesn't care about your long-term happiness. This is why you need what I call the 30-day pause rule. Minimum 30 days before you make any real decision. No relationship talks. No falling back into old patterns. No intimacy, just observation. Because anyone can pretend for a week. Anyone can be on their best behavior when they want something. But patterns need time to reveal themselves. During these 30 days, you're not ignoring her or playing hard to get. You're watching. Is she patiently respecting your space? Or is she pressuring you, manipulating you, making you feel guilty for not immediately taking her back? Marcus Aurelius practiced something he called the view from above. He'd imagine himself looking down on situations from a distance, seeing them clearly without the fog of emotion. Do that now. Look at this situation like you're watching it happen to someone else. What do you see? Seneca warned that there is no easy way from the earth to the stars. If she's serious about this, if she's genuinely changed, 30 days is nothing. She'll wait. She'll prove herself through consistent action. But if she's not serious, if this is just another impulse or a momentary feeling, she'll bail. And you'll know everything you need to know. But let's say she passes the 30 days. Let's say she's still there, still putting in effort, still respecting your boundaries. Now what? This is where you need the boundary framework. Because taking her back without boundaries is like rebuilding a house on the same cracked foundation. It's going to collapse again, and Stoic boundaries aren't ultimatums. They're not about controlling her or making her jump through hoops. They're about self-respect in action. Before any reconciliation happens, you need non-negotiables. How will you communicate when things get hard? What does conflict resolution look like? What does transparency actually mean in practice? These aren't optional conversations. They're mandatory. Present these boundaries calmly. Don't negotiate them. Don't apologize for them. Just state them clearly, and then watch her reaction, because her reaction tells you everything. If she accepts them and puts in the effort, you've got potential. If she resists, makes excuses, tries to make you feel like you're being too harsh or unreasonable, you're looking at a repeat offender. Epictetus taught, first decide who you would be, then do what you must do. If you want it to be a man of self-respect, boundaries aren't something you can skip. They're the foundation of everything that comes next. Now here's the paradox that changes everything. The less you need her, the more power you have. But this isn't about pretending or playing games. This is about genuine self-sufficiency. The mindset you need is simple. I prefer this to work, but I don't need it to. Her staying is welcome. Her leaving is acceptable. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. So maintain your purpose. Keep your options open. Stay emotionally balanced. When she sees that you're perfectly capable of living a full life without her, one of two things will happen. Either she'll respect you more and genuinely commit, or she'll show her true colors and leave again. And here's the beautiful part. Either way, you win. Because words are cheap. Actions are what matter. After she comes back, start tracking what I call the action-omission ratio. For every one thing she says, how many things does she actually do? For every apology, how many real changes appear in her behavior? Warning signs look like this. Lots of talk about feelings but no concrete solutions. Promises without proof. Focus on us without focusing on her own growth first. Positive signs are consistent behavioral changes, willingness to discuss the hard topics without getting defensive, and genuine respect for your healing process. Seneca said time discovers truth. Don't judge her by one good week. Judge her by consistent months. And here's what most men refuse to prepare for. You need two mental doors. Door number one is where things work out. You gradually rebuild trust, not instantly. You maintain your boundaries. You observe for sustained change over time. Door number two is where things don't work out. You have your support system ready. You know your recovery plan. You remember that this was always a possibility. Marcus Aurelius practiced something called premeditation malform, imagining the worst-case scenario so it loses its power to hurt you. Do this exercise right now. If she leaves again, I will be okay because... Fill in that blank. This isn't pessimism. This is emotional preparedness. This is making sure that no matter what happens, you don't lose yourself. Before you make any final decision, ask yourself one question. If your best friend was in this exact situation, what would you tell him to do? This creates the distance you need. You'd probably tell him to slow down. You'd see red flags he's missing. You'd prioritize his long-term peace over his short-term comfort. Epictetus said we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so we can listen twice as much as we speak. Listen to what your rational self is saying, not what your lonely heart wants to hear. The moment she comes back, you have power, but only if you don't need her. That's the secret. Epictetus was literally enslaved, and yet he said no one can hurt you unless you let them. If you need her to stay, she'll hurt you again. If you're okay either way, you win no matter what happens. Don't react immediately. Pause. Judge her reasons, not just her return. Set boundaries, not to control her, but to respect yourself. Want her, but don't need her. That's where real strength lives. And understand this. The version of you that needed her so badly you'd take her back without questions, that version doesn't exist anymore. You felt the pain of her leaving. You've survived it. You've built yourself back up. That's not something you throw away for comfort or convenience. The Stoics believed that every hardship is an opportunity to strengthen your character. She left. That was your test. She's back. This is your choice. Make it from a place of strength, not desperation. Because the man who can walk away from what doesn't serve him is the same man worth staying for. Remember that.